Hey gang, Will here at the Ashland Fly Shop with a fishing report for you for the first week of May. We're back. We're talking about fly fishing in the region and beyond and all kinds of stuff going on. So we're starting our own backyard with the Rogue River, and here we go. Okay, Upper Rogue, unless you've been living under a rock, we are very excited about the salmon fly hatch that's coming up, and we're probably about 15 days or so away from that, just getting started around mid-May. Last week in our newsletter, we did a big salmon fly preview, what to expect. So hop back and check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, we're a little ways away from that. We've still got fairly high flows. What are the flows out of the dam again, you said? 2,500 out of the dam, I think, in like 35 at Dodge. So, you know, that's not too bad. I wouldn't be surprised to see those come up a little bit, you know, for the holy water section in the upper river as the snowmelt really starts to get going. But it's hard to say, so we'll keep an eye on that. But holy water right now, because it's open to fishing, whereas the upper Rogue is not yet open until the 22nd. But if you're fishing the holy water, it's a couple tactics I would try. Streamer fishing, of course. I think the fish, there's subtle changes in temperature happening. I think in the water temps, I think the fish are going to start getting a little hungrier, start kind of getting out of their lethargy a little bit and looking to eat. And then could also swing like rubber leg stoneflies, things like that. There's a lot of bugs moving around in there right now, and you know, the stoneflies are, you know, kind of out migrating out of the river and onto the banks and stuff, getting ready to hatch. So that could be a good thing to look for. Trout are really looking for those right now. So a couple good tactics for the holy water before the hatch really gets going. Every once in a while we'll get a caddisfly hatch in there in that second week of May around Mother's Day in there, but it's hard to say. It's been really hit or miss the last few years and can happen really quickly, but that's maybe something to check out. So beyond that, the Rogue is fairly quiet. It's just kind of rolling along, and we're looking forward to that salmon fly hatch. Stillwater fishing, still a strong story, strong early season, you know, lots of things changing. Diamond Lake, the ice is just starting to break up there, which can be great fishing at ice off up there. So that's something to keep an eye on, keep watch. We've had some cooler temps, which has maybe slowed it down a little bit, but a lot of sun. So I think that's probably helped out. So I think we'll see some fishing getting going there fairly soon. Lower elevation lakes, Howard Prairie, Hyatt, even these lakes are just kind of icing off and clearing up. And I think they're a good bet. I would be looking at those. If you're looking to go kind of get some early fishing, stillwater fishing, those lower mid-elevation lakes right now I think are going to be good. Klamath Lake has been kind of hit or miss. It's still a good bet, I think. Klamath Agency, Wood River is now open, so that's kind of an interesting place over there where it comes into Agency. So I think, you know, Rocky Point's worth looking around at. The lake can vary a little bit as far as clarity and stuff, but this early season fishing can be pretty good. You know, we've talked a little bit about Sugar Creek Ranch, which is a pay-to-play fishery in Northern California that we book with the fly shop down there, and that's been very good. So if you really can't find anything and looking for something to do, I know there's a handful of open dates, Sugar Creek Ranch down there, and that can be a lot of fun in the early season. So give us a call if that's of any interest. But stillwater fishing, I think, is a good bet right now and will be for the next several weeks for sure. Northern California is where we really keep our eye on this time of year. A couple of our favorite fisheries have opened last Saturday in April. We've got McCloud open, Hat Creek, Fall River, so some really great fisheries are open now. High water, not surprising, but McCloud is probably 2/3 over where we typically see it for normal flows. I think normal's around 100 to 150 CFS. I think it's up around 500 or 600 CFS. So, You know, that river's tough getting around in. It's going to be a little tougher now, but you know, there could be a happy medium there with cover, you know, trout having a little cover, feeling a little more aggressive to feed. So haven't had any firsthand reports, so to speak, but be an interesting place to go and try. Going to be hard to get around in that river right now, though, so you want to keep that in mind if you're heading down and fishing the McCloud. Pretty much the same story for the upper Sac. Looking at the flows, it's hard to tell exactly what's happening in the Dunsmuir area and downstream, but flows into the reservoir, into Shasta, I think, what were they, like 600 or 1,000 or something still? So still pretty high. And that can vary quite differently from upstream, but I would imagine that the upper Sac is pretty high and got some color in it, which again can be a very good time to fish there. You know, you're really going to be mostly nymphing. This goes for the McCloud as well, but really going to be mostly nymphing. You know, rubber leg stones and little mayflies, little prince nymphs, things like that work very, very well. That kind of fishing, those kind of conditions. So could possibly do some streamer fishing down toward the lower end on the upper Sac, and in the McCloud that could be interesting as well, doing some sink tip fishing there in the Ash Camp Audinaw section. So that's what that section's looking like. Marcus did run over and fish Hat Creek for the opener and had a really nice time over there. I think it sounded like a very typical opener. He got a few fish on dries. He's going to do a report in this week's newsletter, field notes, so head on over to the website and check that out. But Hat Creek, always a very good bet. Spring Creek, so good, consistent conditions and can be very good fishing at the first of the year. Fall River can be similar. It can get a little bit weeded up and stuff, and a little bit off color with some snowmelt stuff. But I would expect Fall River to be a good bet as well right now. A little early for PMDs, but in the next couple weeks, that's going to really start going off. So Fall River is a real favorite of mine and can be a lot of fun fishing over there, and happy to talk to you more about it if you're unfamiliar with it. So NorCal, we really love fishing down there this time of year for the next couple months. So we'll be talking about it a bit and hopefully getting down there and fishing ourselves a bunch, and we'll have that to share with you too. The Klamath River has a cool little stonefly, salmonfly hatch too on the upper section, that Iron Gate section. It really peters out below Klamath on Bridge, I have found, but it's been really inconsistent the last few years. It used to be, it seems like it was more consistent, but you know, late May through mid-June, even a little bit later into June, we found some good fishing there. So the upper Klamath is definitely one to think about and one to ask us about and talk about. It definitely has a different character than the Rogue. I think the fish are a little more aggressive, a little more grabby to the fly. They can be for longer. And even swinging flies and stuff in there, little salmon fly type sunken types of flies can be pretty good. So I'd like to get down there a couple times this year. Keep it on your radar. Of course, it's really hard to fish that upper section without a boat, almost impossible. So you're going to want to, you know, have a craft of your own, or we can do guide days. We do guide days down there. We have some openings down there, but the upper Klamath can be one to keep an eye on as well. And I think conditions are pretty similar to where they are everywhere, just a little high. But it should be pretty good fishing down there too, kind of in similar time as the Rogue. So that's what we're looking at. Fishing report for you for the 1st of May. Lots going on, lots of transition time, lots of hatches coming up, lots of trout fishing to be done. So we're really excited. We love this time of year, and I'd love to share with you in more detail where to go, what to use. So feel free to give us a call here at the shop, and we're happy to help. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.